I have no doubts. To me, Kaká is the best player in the world because he is the most complete player. I see him a notch above Messi and Ronaldo. This was said by Pelé, and for those of you who don't know, Pelé is the greatest player to ever play the game. And you probably know the magnitude of this quote, since he is the greatest player, and to get a compliment like that from a player like that is a great achievement. I chose Kaká because he is probably one of the most famous players in the world today, especially in Brazil, and I watched him play a lot. He's not famous here though, and soccer pretty much isn't famous here though as well, which is why I felt the need to inform you about it. In this speech I will talk about his early life, injuries, and his major success. In his early life he was born in Brasilia, and not too far after he moved to the major city of São Paulo. His full name is actually Ricardo dos Leite, and he got the name of Kaká from his little brother who couldn't pronounce his actual name Ricardo properly. He grew up in a middle-class home as opposed to the rest of the football players who grew up in a favela, poor, that didn't have much to eat or any money to spend. He was a very gifted boy. He was good in school, and at the age of 8, he was actually discovered by São Paulo, which is a major club in Brazil. At the age of 8, was signed to a youth contract. After a couple of years, and 15 displaying more progress, he was signed with the senior club of São Paulo, and at 19, he debuted with the senior side, helping the team win a state championship. Now, as you know, all these fairy tales, they always have a low point. It's not always success in sunny flower fields. He obtained his injury when he was just having fun with his friends. It wasn't necessarily obtained on the field. He slid into a pool, and he actually slid so hard into the pool, he hit his head at the bottom. The next day after training, he complained about major pains in his back. And as the New York Times article says, he fractured his cervical vertebrae. And Kaká also said in a quote, "The doctor said I was lucky, and I am certain it was God's will." As you can see here, he became dedicated to soccer and declared himself an athlete of Christ because of his miraculous discovery. He wore a treatment jacket for 2 months, and during his recovery, he had these goals that he set that are even far-fetched for even a major league player. His goals were to play in the World Cup, to play in an international team of Brazil, and to win the UEFA League Champions. After this injury and after playing for a while, he actually managed to accomplish all these goals and even more. Now, for a soccer player to have major success, they have to go through Europe, where prestigious clubs like AC Milan, Barcelona, and Real Madrid play. He was signed for AC Milan in 2003 for €8.5 million, which is relatively cheap for a player that would go on to win World Player of the Year. In 2006 and 2007 season, he was a star and starter of AC Milan and won the Champions League, beating Liverpool 1-0 in the finals. In the semifinals, he carried his team, scoring 2 goals with no assists. In the final, he had the lone assist to win the game. In that same year, he also won the Ballon d'Or, which is translated literally to the Golden Ball. And to give you an idea of how important that award is, other players like Pelé, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and Messi have been in contention for this award. However, his life would take a turn as he would go to Real Madrid. And this is after he won the Ballon d'Or. As you can see here, the ball is actually made of pure gold. He had a great international career. In 2002, he would win the World Cup with Brazil. And though he did not see a lot of time on the field, it was because major players like Ronaldinho and Ronaldo were in their prime, and he was just at the mere age of 20. In 2006 and 2010, he was the main star for Brazil, donning the number 10 that Pelé also donned as he played for Brazil. And though he did not win in 2006 and 2010, he managed to rack up some really impressive stats for Brazil. In 2009, he was signed for Real Madrid with a record €65 million. He also rejected a transfer fee of €100 million to Manchester City, which is a major club in the English Premier League. This transfer fee of $65 million was the second highest in the world, and the first one is Ronaldo's. However, had he signed with Manchester City, his would have been the highest paid. To go to Real Madrid, he had to make some sacrifices. He would go from being an attacking player who was always scoring the goals to a player that would embrace a new style of playmaking and being in the midfielder and making plays to feed the attackers. He became more conservative but his conservative style helped carry the team to win league titles and championships. And though he did not score as much, his killer instinct helped the team win. He is still starting for Real Madrid today, and he plays alongside Cristiano Ronaldo and other major players. And I'd like to leave you with this quote, and this quote you probably heard somewhere before. I have no doubts. To me, Kaká is the best player in the world because he is the most complete player, and I see him as a notch above Messi and Ronaldo. Wouldn't you guys agree? Thank you for listening.
Thank you. That was 5:30. Charles, could you just explain something for me?